When you're fishing in a stream, ideally, and I'm going to go over stream fishing in more detail, ideally you want to cast from the bottom of the pool to the top of the pool, because the fish will be facing upward when to catch the food that's coming down. Because of the way this is set up and it's cut off by this rock, I don't have that luxury. So what I'm going to do is cast across the current and let the lure spin. This is where you want to go to my basic spin casting clip and learn how to pitch cast, because you don't want to overhand cast here. So first, I'm going to fish this water here because it's closer. And if I get out on that rock to fish that water, I'll spook this pool. So I'm going to get down low, and I'm going to get my, and there should be some fish in here. So I cast it out. You got to reel immediately. When you're fishing a spinner, you have to start reeling immediately, or else you'll be snagged before you even have a chance. Oh, there we go. Yeah, they hit that thing. See that fish jump? He nailed it. Second it hit the water. Whoa, they are all over this spinner. There's one. There's one. There's your crickets. Oh, he came off. These fish are liking the spinner in this little pool. See, I'm pitch casting it out and I start reeling immediately. There we go. They're hitting it every single time it goes in the water. They're hitting it every time it goes in. See, fish in a stream don't have time to think about it. They gotta hit. Now notice how, so this cast, I'm gonna try to see if there's anything in the back end of the pool, and I'm just gonna wheel this thing right past, because there'll be fish sitting there in the back end of the pool sometimes. There we go. Just like that. Just like this guy was sitting in the back end of the pool. And this is a, whoa, it's a brook trout. So what I'm doing is I cast it alongside of the pool, and then I'm letting my Panther Martin swing past, so if there's fish in that lineup out there, they can just swim right up and grab it. Notice how I start reeling immediately. The second my lure hits the water, oh, there we go. The second my lure hits the water, I close my bail. There's no time, like even before my lure hits the water, I close my bail. So I've hiked farther down the stream, about a mile, where it's a little better. This is what you want ideally when you're fishing a small mountain stream. You want the water coming at you. That's the best. You're not always going to be able to get that though, so you're going to fish side, parallel, swing it down as much as you can. Trout are going to be facing up, catching whatever comes down at them. As soon as they see your presentation, they're either going to hit it or they're going to reject it. The trout sometimes will be, sometimes there's an undercut bank where there's the water flows under the bank and there's roots, and trout will stay inside of there and swim out and catch food as it comes down. So let's make a cast and see. The goal is you want to keep your presentation coming the same speed as the current to make it look as natural as possible. There we go. Oh, there's one. There's one. Because there will always be fish hanging out around these bushes. This creek seems to be loaded with these little browns. A little brown, little guy. Let's see what we got over here. I mean, I have a good time catching these little brown trout or wild rainbows or whatever might be in there, but I'll take whatever I can get. Ugh. There's one little brown trout, little wild fish. Look at this guy. So I cast it up to the fish. They're all lined up there, and these are the little browns you get. It's a beautiful little fish, and I'm fishing this Panther Martin spinner. This spot's interesting, but we're gonna have to move some trees and break some brush to get out here. This looks like a hole that could have a fish that's a little bigger in it, but I probably am scaring everything as I'm trying to get out here. Oh, there we go. Ah! I'm just missing my target. One thing you gotta be when you're fishing in a stream is you gotta be accurate. Oh, there we go. There we go. Right in that current. He nailed that. This is a nice brown. Oh, yeah, there we go. Look at this boy. This is the fish of the day for the stream. Oh, look at this brown. I mean, it is what it is, but that's a nice brown trout for this little creek. And it was worth breaking the brush to get him. Got him right in the corner of his mouth. Let's try to get him down into the sunlight so you can see him a little better. Look at that brown. That's a nice little brown. You know, this creek is small. He was sitting right at the head of this riffle, and he nailed that. Let's get him back in the water. This looks interesting. The best place to fish though is right below me. That's the unfortunate part of this spot, because I can't get anywhere near. So I'm gonna throw this up there. Ooh, that was a nice brown. He went right after it. See, the bigger fish are gonna be, ooh, there's one. There's a little guy. The bigger fish are gonna be in these deep pools. I just saw like a nice 10-incher come out. It looks like almost everything I'm getting in here are little brown trout. And you could probably get them in here up to 12, 13 inches. It's really, like if I was fishing bait, I could drift this bait down into these tree roots and stuff and have some success. But I'm just fishing this spinner, so